Shepherd's purse is known for its ability to control bleeding, reduce heavy menstrual flows, treat minor cuts and wounds. It also has diuretic properties, and it's beneficial for quite a few little things in our bodies. Come on over and learn some more with me. Hey everybody, I'm Rachel at the Herbalist Garden. How are you doing today? My disclaimer is I am an herbalist. I'm not a doctor. Please do your own research. I really would appreciate if you would do that. I'm very appreciative that you're here. I am at home today. There's construction going around our office building, so there's no parking, so they're having us work from home, which is fine by me. But I put up this so you guys don't have to see my disaster. Excuse me, my disaster behind me, because we don't fit into this house. Anyways, shepherd's purse is a common weed, as they call it, but a definition of a weed is just a plant out of place. So we're not going to call it a weed. We're going to just call it a plant that has some medicinal properties, and we're going to talk about that today. It's thought to originate from the Middle East, and parts that grow above the ground are the parts you make medicine from. So the stem, the seeds, the leaves, all that stuff above the ground. Unlike the majority of flowering plants, shepherd's purse actually flowers for just about the entire year. All of growing season anyway. It grows from a little rosette of leaves at its base, and the stem can grow up to a half a meter in height and produces small white flowers with 4 petals. It is good for nosebleeds, PMS symptoms, abnormally heavy bleeding during menstrual periods, and other conditions. But there is only a little bit of scientific evidence that it works, and we'll talk about what those are. It is best used in a tea or tincture form. You can make a cream out of it, an ointment, for topical use on the skin. Shepherd's purse has been used for a wide variety of medical purposes, including stopping bleeding, reducing inflammation, treating digestive problems, and even remedying bedwetting. They didn't really go into that much, but okay. The plant contains a number of biological compounds, including flavonoids, alkaloids, tannins, which are believed to be responsible for the medical properties of it. It also has oxalates in it. So oxalates are things that are not the greatest for your kidneys, and they can cause, in high doses only, it can cause kidney stones. So if you are prone to kidney stones, shepherd's purse is not for you. You could probably use it still topically though, and that is useful. I have a whole chart I'm going to put up here. It's pretty cool. Found it on a website. I have all the links in the description below of all the links that I glean my information from. I'm reading from over here on the screen because this is where I have everything organized. So it would also stimulate muscle tone and increase uterine contractions. So like if this has been used to help along labor during childbirth. But I'll put that chart over here. It's pretty cool. Let's see, shepherd's purse. It's in the mustard family. It is called, scientific name is Capsella bursa pastoris. It is in the mustard family, I said, and is the one of the most common wildflowers on earth. Its name comes from the triangular fruits which resemble a purse. Other names for it are toothwort, mother's heart, St. James weed, and witch's pouch. I had never heard of any of those names before. I've only ever heard shepherd's purse. So the strongest evidence for the health benefits of shepherd's purse concerns its effect on hemorrhage, like bleeding. One of the primary uses of shepherd's purse is to stop the bleeding. This makes it useful for like nosebleeds, heavy menstrual bleeding, wound treatment. It was commonly used by the soldiers in the battlefield in World War I. Crush the plant leaves to use as a poultice for nosebleeds and cuts. It also treats digestive problems. It has been traditionally used to improve appetite, stimulate digestion, and relieve indigestion and stomach cramps. The plant contains compounds that help increase the production of digestive enzymes, which can improve digestion. It's also useful for treating inflammatory conditions such as arthritis and gout. It also can potentially reduce fevers and release pain, so it's an analgesic. Nice. We're going to go over some scientific studies. For example, in 2017, a study of 100 women with postpartum hemorrhage found that the hormone oxytocin reduced bleeding in one group, but another group taking both oxytocin and 10 drops of the shepherd's purse extract experienced a significantly greater decrease in bleeding. In addition, a 2018 study of 84 women found that those taking the anti-inflammatory drug mefenamic acid, along with 1,280 milligrams of shepherd's purse extract daily during the menstrual period, experienced significantly less menstrual bleeding than those who took only the mefenamic acid. A 2022 animal study on reducing bleeding during liver surgery evaluated the effect of a traditional Turkish herbal mixture containing false yellowhead and shepherd's purse. The researchers tested the mixture in rats with liver lacerations and found that it effectively controlled bleeding, reduced blood loss and inflammation, and necrosis compared with other treatments. So we talked a little bit about the constituents, but it contains saponins, flavonoids, mustard oil, choline, acetylcholine. Those are the big ones of the main chemical components. It is an astringent, a diuretic, an emmenagogue, a febrifuge, but is mostly used to stem bleeding by women following childbirth. That is the traditional use of it. It's a vasodilator, so it helps hasten blood coagulation and constriction. So if you are on any sort of blood thinners, and yeah, you can't use it. The herb also contains a type of protein that acts similarly to the human hormone oxytocin. It helps constrict the smooth muscles that surrounds and supports the blood vessels, especially those of the uterus. So when we want to stop nosebleeds, it actually stems nosebleeds, or stems the flow of blood from a nosebleed better than any other treatment. Best way to use the herb for a nosebleed is in liquid form as shepherd's purse tea. So they want you to make a tea. Obviously, let it steep for the 10 minutes covered up. And then you take a cotton ball and you dip it in there and you squeeze it out. And squeeze all the excess liquid out of it, and then put it up your nose if you got a nosebleed. And it's supposed to basically make your nose stop bleeding. But you want to put the cotton ball prayer farm up there because you want to actually hit the wound. If it's further up, I don't know what to tell you. Do your best. That's a difficult one to figure out. But if you're putting it still like up your nose, it's still getting all the membranes here, which means that it's going to absorb into your membranes, and then find its way to where it's needed. And that's what herbs do. They find their way to where it's needed in the body and actually make things work. And I think the nosebleed thing with the cotton ball would actually work because it's gonna like suck into your, our skin is a sponge. If you have a pool or a cup or something full of water with, say, chlorine in it, you stick your hand in there, guess what? There's going to be less chlorine because it's going to be in your skin. So that's why people say rinse off after you are in the pool, rinse off before you're in the pool, because then you're absorbing non chlorinated water into your body before that hits your body, and then there's some sort of a barrier. It's still going to happen, but it's not going to be as strong as dry skin absorbs water pretty quickly. Any sort of liquid, really. For bleeding following childbirth, a large percentage of women develop significant bleeding problems after giving birth. Shepherd's purse is an extremely effective natural remedy for reducing bleeding and toning the uterus. Again, start by making a large quantity of shepherd's purse tea. To the liter of tea, you can add any other herbs that you want that would complement. We will get to that. But drink the entire liter of tea over the course of a day in divided portions. That will help temper the blood flow if you're having heavy bleeding after childbirth. You can see fairly dramatic and immediate results. So it's going to go to where it's necessary and how it will work for your body. You can use it on minor cuts or bites. You can apply it as a poultice, chew it up, put it on your cut. Could have done that thing. And no, I couldn't have. Maybe it's antiseptic too, so maybe. Especially true if you have, and this is something that would be very beneficial if you have little children who like to rough and tumble, or even if you're out there getting bit, scraped, grazed. Shepherd's purse is an excellent remedy for it. You can use it as a cold compress and hold against the wound to stop the bleeding. It also helps with, and we talked about inflammation, but heart health. There is also some recent evidence regarding the plant's anti-inflammatory properties. A 2019 study researchers found that shepherd's purse may reduce the production of harmful compounds and stop certain inflammatory processes by blocking specific pathways. There's more. Lighting change. So hi again. Somebody came to the door and I took care of it. All right, so we're going into I have to remember where we were, inflammation and heart health. 2019 study, researchers found that shepherd's purse may reduce the production of harmful compounds and stop certain inflammatory processes by blocking specific pathways. A 2023 study explored whether shepherd's purse hot water extract, a tea, can reduce heart damage caused by chemotherapy drug doxorubicin. The study found that the plant may reduce oxidative stress, which is associated with inflammation. So, shepherd's purse also can be useful for treating cataracts, eye infections, reducing hemorrhoids, lowering cholesterol, reduce liver fat, reducing and preventing ulcers, reducing swelling, treating vomiting, reducing blood pressure, and helping treat urinary tract infections. There's quite a few things that this does, but it's like on a smaller scale than most plants. They talk about, in a lot of the websites that I found, they talk about formulating it with another herb. I really personally like formulations. So if you're treating a UTI, if you're treating PMS, if you're treating any sort of female reproductive thing, you can mix it with lady's mantle, because lady's mantle helps with wound healing and reduces heavy menstrual bleeding. Use that as like a tincture or a tea. You can also use yarrow. That also normalizes menstruation, and it's used as a tea or a tincture as well. So if you combine them, they will maximize the use of the shepherd's purse with the yarrow or the lady's mantle and make a formulation that will just speed up all the things that you want to happen. Like it has to do with female reproduction. Those things are complemented by the lady's mantle or yarrow. I personally, we have lady's mantle in this house often. It does work. We use it as a tea. My daughter uses it when she's having major PMS issues. We can add in the shepherd's purse to it now and know that it'll really reduce any sort of like a heavy flow for her. The yarrow, I would still honestly use. I mean, you can use it to normalize menstruation, but I would honestly use it for topical. You can use it internally, just not as frequently as, say, lady's mantle. If you don't have it, then use it. If you don't have lady's mantle, use your yarrow. But I prefer a topical use for that one. There is a video on yarrow, and I'll put the card up here so you can click on that and get to it and see what yarrow does, because it does a lot of great stuff. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff you can use it for. So formulations always make things better. You can safely drink at least 2 cups of shepherd's purse herb tea each day. They say it doesn't really taste very good, so you can add things like honey or a lemon slice to make it more palatable. There are precautions. As I said before, it has oxalates in it, so you can't have too much of it, especially if you have issues with kidney stones already. So you want to make sure that you're cognizant of your body ahead of time before you take an herb. It's the way with every single herb, not just shepherd's purse, not just yarrow, not just, it's all of them. They all have some sort of precaution of you can't take it if you're taking prescriptions or if you have certain conditions. You just can't. Side effects of shepherd's purse can include drowsiness, so you can't take it with sleep medicine, shortness of breath, pupil enlargement. Those things have happened to animals in animal studies. I'm not a big fan of animal studies, but at least we know, and they're not dying. In addition, the plant can interact with certain medications. So any sort of barbiturates, benzodiazepines, pain relievers, anything that makes you drowsy. It can also affect blood clotting, so avoid if you're taking blood thinners or have circulation issues. Stop a few weeks before any surgery, because of your ability to be able to blood clot correctly. And also, if you have thyroid issues, this is a no-go. So, because it will affect the thyroid function. If you don't have a thyroid, you're obviously going to take medicine based on a thyroid. So, still, if you're taking any pharmaceuticals, just avoid shepherd's purse and most herbs, honestly. There are a few that you can take, and if you have questions, we can talk about it. So, as I said, I have the links in the description below. all my links to my socials. You can follow me over on Facebook. That's where it all started, at the Herbalist Garden Group. And we have 140 some thousand. We have 143.5 members. I'm very happy with our group. Very happy with our group. I do have a poll, and we add herbs to it as I think of them, and then delete them off as I use them, because it's supposed to be help me choose an herb for the podcast. That is on the Herbalist Garden on Facebook. I'm trying to get medicine in your own backyard started up with my friend Dawn, and either people have been sick or we've been busy, so we're doing our best. It's great. Glad you're here. Thank you so much. I hope you found value in this. This wasn't very long. It didn't need to be. I appreciate all of you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for learning with me.